Hello everyone, welcome to this channel. Today we are going to continue with the chapter transaction, and in this we are going to see schedules in DBMS. Now what is the meaning of schedule? Okay. Schedule represents the order in which instructions are executed in the system. A schedule can have many transactions in it, each comprising of a number of instructions. When multiple transactions are running concurrently, then there need to be a sequence in which the operations are performed. This sequence of operation is known as schedule. Okay? So basically the meaning of schedule over here is nothing but how the instructions of your transactions are executed. Okay, the sequence of operations is said to be as schedule. Right? So here you can see the example over here. This is schedule 1 and this is schedule 2. Okay. So here you can see, as I said, there can be any number of transactions in this schedule. Right. Any number of transactions. So here you can see this is the first transaction and this is the second transaction. Right. And here these are nothing but the instructions. So basically here how these instructions are executed within the while execution. So this is nothing but the sequence is said to be as schedule. Okay. So this is the example 1 schedule. And this is the example 2. Okay, next. Again, this is the example of schedule. You can see S1, S2 and S3. S1 is having 2 transactions T1, T2. Again, S3 is having T1, T2. S3 is having T1 and T2. Let's go ahead. Types of schedules. So there are 2 types of schedules, serial schedule and non-serial schedule. Okay, serial schedule. Serial schedule in which the transactions are executed in a non-interleaved manner. Okay, in a non-interleaved manner. That is, a serial schedule is one in which no transaction starts until a running transaction has ended, are called as serial schedule. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of non-serial schedule? Non-serial schedule are also said to be as concurrent schedules. Okay. A schedule is said to be non-serial schedule if we start executing other transactions before computing the first one. Okay, try to understand this, okay? A non-serial schedule is what? If a transaction start executing, okay, before the first transaction finish, then it is said to be as non-serial schedule. A schedule in which sequence of instructions of transactions appear in the same order as they appear in individual transactions, but the transaction may be interleaved with the instructions of different transactions. That is, concurrent execution of transaction take place. Okay. Now we are going to see the example of this. So here you can see schedule A, schedule B are the type of serial schedule. Okay. Schedule A and schedule B are the type of serial schedule. That means what? See here. See schedule A. T1, T2, okay? See schedule A, here there are 2 transactions T1 and T2. You can see at time T1, suppose at time T1, transaction T1 started execution, okay? After the completion of this transaction came into the picture. So this is what this serial schedule. Again you can see here at time T1, transaction T2 started, okay? So here transaction T2 started, right? After the completion only, right? After the completion of this transaction, this T1 started its execution. So this is what the serial schedule, okay? This means what? This transactions are executing in a non-interleaved manner, okay? Now this say, schedule C and schedule D, you can see over here. So here you can see at time T1, the transaction T1 started, right? But at time T3, you can see, suppose this is the time T3, T2 has come into the picture, right? That means what? After executing 2 instructions, T2 started executing. Again, somewhere this T2 stopped. Then again T1 started executing, right? Again T2 started executing. Then again here T1 started executing. So this means what? These transactions are executing in an interleaved manner, right? That's why here these are said to be as non-serial schedule, okay? Non-serial schedule. Likewise here also you can see in the schedule D, T1 started, okay? but T2 started before T1 completes. Okay. T2 started before T1 completes. So again, these are executing in interleaved manner. Again, T1 started before. Here you can see T1 and T2, they are working in an interleaved fashion, right? They are working in an interleaved fashion. So this is what the concept of serial schedule and non-serial schedule. Okay. Next. Now we can understand this with a better, we can understand this with an example over here. Okay, suppose here there are two transactions A. Consider two transactions T1 and T2 and account A with initial balance as 1000 and account B with initial balance as 2000. Okay, so basically here we are trying to understand the execution of your instructions of your transactions. Okay, so here we are having two accounts, basically A with initial balance as 1000 and account B as balance with 2000. Okay, so here you can see T1 transfer rupees 100 from account A to account B. So these are what the instructions it is executing for transferring rupees 100 from account A to account B. Okay, initially it is going to read the balance, then it is going to deduct the balance, it is going to update, right? Then again it is going to read the balance of account B, then it is going to update the balance of account B, then it is going to write the balance of B. Okay, next. Here T2, transaction T2, what transaction T2 is telling? Transfers 20% of balance from account A to account B. So this transaction T2 is telling what? It is going to transfer 20% of balance from account A to account B. So these are what the instructions, right, in the transaction T2. Okay. So basically here we can see for T1 and T2, two serial schedules are possible. Let's see what are the two serial schedules over here. So here you can see very first one over here, T1, T2 serial schedule. It will execute transaction T1 first and then T2. As you can see in this table, T1 started executing first. Then after the completion of this entire transaction, T2 has started its execution. Right? This is what the concept of serial schedule. एक जब तक खत्म नहीं होता है दूसरा शुरू नहीं होगा. This is what the concept of serial schedule. Okay. Now after executing both transaction, account balance of A is rupees 720 and account balance of B is what? Rupees 2280. Okay. So here you have to put the values. Students, you have to try it by yourself. You have to insert the values like initial value. It is going to read over here. That is nothing but 1000. Right. Then A minus 100. That is 1000 minus 100. Then it is going to write the value of A. That is nothing but 900. Okay. Then it is going to read the value of B. That is what? 2000, right? Here. These are the values which we are going to take in an example, right? So here it is 2000 plus 100. It is 2100, right? It is going to update likewise. Likewise here also you have to put the values and see what values you are getting at the last, right? Let's see. Here again this is what? Serial schedule, but here T2 started first, then after the completion of T2, T1 started its execution. Remember this last statement over here in this box, here after executing both the transaction, values of A and B are rupees 700 and rupees 2300 respectively. Okay, after executing both, I am telling the previous example also and this example also. Okay, here in this case also A plus B is constant and it preserves the consistency. Okay. Before the transaction, what was the addition of A and B? Same addition we must get at the last. So this is what it is preserving the consistency. So both the example here it is preserving the consistency. Okay. Now this is what? Consistent concurrent schedule for T1 and T2. Okay. When you try to insert the values over here, okay, what was the initial value of A and B, addition of A and B after the execution of this? This is what the concurrent schedule. This is not the serial schedule, but this is what the concurrent schedule, okay? So here we can say here the consistency is preserved. Likewise, here you can see in the next example over here the constant, here it is not same, okay? Thank you.